Hey
Welcome,
guys.
welcome.
I
Welcome,
know
everyone,
I,
to
I know it's a
episode
little early,
3.
but we had to. Okay, guys, we had
What's
to.
up? What's up?
It's kind of early for some people,
Yep, it is. Not
but
gonna
we
lie,
had
it's
to
gonna
do it.
be.
We had to do it.
We just love doing these episodes, and we love getting the content out to you. So,
If I seem not to be myself today, it's because I'm in a lot
I
of
mean, he's not. He's not himself.
I'm in a lot of pain. But I'm gonna try to power through it for you guys and for Phil also.
Yep,
We almost
it's okay.
it's
But
been
welcome
2 weeks.
to the Days Gone By podcast. I'm Phil. This is Jay, also known as Cerebral Palsy Gamer.
Yeah, you know who I
Well, some people may be listening for the first time. You
am.
know.
Yeah, that's true. So hi, I'm Jay, but I am known as Silver Palsy Game on YouTube. And if you like this content, share, like, and subscribe. Also go over to his channel and do
It's under the description right here, under RAWERS. We just post a whole bunch of cooking videos. Mostly recently, it's been like money saving recipes. Um, things you can find pretty commonly and make pretty commonly. So we'll go on from there. And today we're going to be talking in the great year 1977. Now a lot of people are expecting us to be talking about the movies right away. We're going to hold off on that until the end.
Oh, really?
We're going to hold off to the end because there were so many great movies that came out. We have an entire segment devoted to that.
And there were some good sitcoms that came out also.
Yep, there were great sitcoms that came out that year. But
let's
I know people are wanting to see what movies came out that year, and there's obviously one, but we'll hold off on that, okay?
there's a major one.
Yeah. Anyway,
Till this day,
so
knows about it. Till this day.
in 1977, President Jimmy Carter was still president.
And he when he came in office, he
Mm-hmm.
he helped all the other soldiers that tried to dodge the draft.
Pardoned.
He imparted anybody who tried to.
One of my great aunt's brothers actually moved to Canada to avoid the draft.
Wow.
And he's been there ever since. So
wow. And also in 1977, it was the death of a famous singer, Elvis Presley. He died in 1977 also.
Okay.
And if you guys don't know who Elvis Presley is, where have you been?
Right?
He is the biggest singer in history, I believe.
Who?
Elvis Presley?
Yes. Well, at least for his era, I think he was the biggest of his era. But then came the Beatles.
Yeah, true.
And then after them came like Led Zeppelin. And then after that came, Michael Jackson.
True.
I don't think anyone will ever top Michael Jackson's Thriller album.
Yeah, you're right about that one. But you know what the funny thing is? Funny thing
Hmm?
about it is
Hmm.
Michael Jackson m- married Elvis Presley's daughter.
Hmm.
And then when he got married, he got all the rights to every single song that Elvis Presley released. So
Hmm.
yeah.
Anyway, so let's go into some music, huh? Let's get started with the music that released in '77.
Oh,
Tonight's Night Gonna Be All Right by Rod Stewart came out in '77. That was the number one single that year. So,
uh,
um, Evergreen, which is the love theme from A Star Is Born, the one that came out a couple years ago.
mm,
Barbara Streisand came
okay.
out that year. um,
That's a good one.
I'm Your Boogeyman by Casey and the Sunshine Band came out
Oh,
that.
that,
Dancing Queen came out that year.
oh, Dancing Queen. I love that. I love that song.
Wasted away again in Margaritaville also came out. Hotel California.
That was 77?
Mm-hmm.
No way.
Yep.
I thought that was 80s.
Nope. That's definitely 70s. I know that.
The
Because
Eagles?
the Eagles didn't even make it to the 80s.
Are you serious? Man,
They broke up in like 79 or something like that.
good lord. Okay.
Or how about this one? Dun 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 dun.
Oh,
Gonna fly now.
is
The Rocky theme.
that the
Hmm.
same song with Eye of the Tiger or no?
No, 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 no.
Oh, it's
Two
from
different
the
two
different
different
one.
artists, but this is from the first Rocky movie. No, 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 no. This is the one where he's like working out and stuff like
Yeah,
that. It's the first movie.
I know the music, but I don't know who sang it.
Yeah, Bill Conti is the guy
Oh,
who sang
Joker.
that one.
All right. And
Do
wasn't
you
that?
know the artist Glenn Campbell?
Yeah.
Okay. His famous song Southern Nights came out in '77.
Okay.
Southern Nights.
That's nice. That's cool. All right.
You're a rich girl and
And
you've gone too far.
there was a big natural
Hall and Oates,
disaster in
Rich
77
Girl.
also.
What was that?
There was a natural disaster in 77 also.
Yes. What happened?
Uh, Jacksonville got flooded.
Oh,
They
this was
got,
the Jacksonville flood, right? Yeah.
yeah, they had a lot of rain in that previous week, and it damaged a lot of places in Jacksonville. Like about, I was reading, they said it was like a $300 million damage to the whole state.
Do you know that disco song Car Wash?
Yeah.
That came out in '77 as well.
Okay. And a
Uh,
lot of
the
people.
famous the famous Steve Miller Band, Fly Like an Eagle
Yeah. Yeah,
into
I
the
know that came out.
future.
Yeah,
That
I
one
know
came
that
out.
came out too. So, but yeah. Um, and also,
Feels like the first time. Feels like the very first time. Yep.
and also, Florida had something weird happen to Florida that year.
Ooh, how about
They
this one?
actually got they actually got snow in
Oh,
Florida.
really?
Yeah, they
How's
actually got
about this?
snow.
How's about this one? Blinded by the light, racked up like a deuce, you know, the roller in the night. That came out in '77 by Manfred Mann's Earth Band.
Okay.
Then Fleetwood Mac released their Dreams album, so Dreams was on there. Let's see here. Don't stop thinking about tomorrow.
Oh
Don't.
yeah, that's fun too. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's,
Barracuda from Heart came out.
I mean, there was a lot of good stuff that came out.
Oh yeah.
In the
Working on my night moves by Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band.
yeah, I'm telling you, the entertainment scene in the 70s,
Oh my God.
it was off the chart. Off the chart.
Carry on my wayward son. There'll be peace when you are gone.
Yeah.
That came out in 77. Big old jet airliner from Steve Miller Band.
And also,
You're as cold as ice.
going back
willing to sacrifice our love.
going back to politics.
Yep.
In 1977, there was the first. I think I'm not sure, but was it the mayor or a senator? They came out and was openly gay. Mayor in San Francisco, Harvard Milk. They made a movie out of that mayor, and it came out a couple of years ago. But yeah, the first open gay mayor of San Francisco.
Interesting.
So yeah.
Wow. So in Super Bowl 11, in the Rose Bowl, the Oakland Raiders won 32-14 over the Minnesota Vikings. So that was from 1976. Eddie Brown sets an NFL record for punt returns in a game. He was busy that day. I don't think it's ever been beat. I don't think it would ever be beat, to be honest. It's 11 punt returns in a game.
Wait, hold on. In one game?
In one game, he returned 11 punts.
How is that possible?
Who did Eddie Brown play for?
Minnesota or Raiders?
No, because they just went to this. They just went to.
Yeah, but
he was a wide receiver.
So you're telling me that guy scored?
He was with the. Oh, actually, he was a safety / wide receiver. So he was with the Washington football team. I'm not going to name them by their previous name.
Oh, you mean Washington Redskins?
Yeah. Anyway, now this one is very significant. As someone who comes from the city of Chicago, this is. Does anyone know about the Michael Jordan flu game?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
That was 1997. Not 97.
So 20 years prior, okay, to the Michael Jordan flu game, despite having a 101-degree fever and having to get IV, basically he was throwing up so much, he had to get an IV in halftime.
Yup, he did.
Chicago Bears running back Walter Payton set a new single-game NFL rushing record, gaining 275 yards in a 10-7 victory over the Vikings. 275 yards with a 101-degree fever. That's a big one.
But going back to the previous thing that you were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So you're telling me one guy in the NFL scored 11?
No, he didn't score. He just caught the ball to return for 11 times.
Oh, so he didn't score.
No. He just caught and returned the punt 11 times.
Oh, dude, I was gonna say that guy scored 66 points all by himself.
This is surprising. And this is probably the hardest record to beat in all of sports. On December 11th, and this is talking about football, okay? The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, in their second year of existence, finally won a football game. Against the New Orleans Saints. Their win ends an NFL record 26-game losing streak.
That's the record right now. It's 26.
That will always be the record. Who in their right mind wants to lose 27 games in a row?
No
one.
Browns.
That's probably about the closest. Like the Hugh Jackson Browns would be the closest.
Lions made it 0-16.
Now here's something. If you're good with soccer, the great soccer player Pele.
Oh wow, yeah.
Played the final game of his storied career at Giants Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. He played his final game at the Meadowlands on October 1st, 1977.
Gee. That's... I mean, 1977 was a good year.
Okay, here's a good one for all of you baseball fans. Now, this is someone that's very near and dear to my heart. I don't know if you heard about Mr. Cub. Do you know of him?
No.
Ernie Banks, I don't know if you've heard of him, is elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame in his first year of eligibility.
So he made it his first year.
Yep. I mean, he was the undisputed, no-doubter Hall of Famer in Cubs history.
Okay.
Post 1900.
Yeah, post.
Okay, because, I mean, everyone knows him as being like a kind of slow first baseman, but that was at the end of his career.
Yeah,
at the beginning of his career, he was actually a shortstop, and that's where he won back-to-back MVP awards in 57 and 58.
Cool. All right.
In the World Series that year, the New York Yankees defeat the Los Angeles Dodgers. Big shock there.
Boo.
Now, in basketball, in March Madness that year, my dad's alma mater, Marquette, won 67 to 59 over North Carolina.
Okay.
Marquette, at that time, they were known as the Warriors.
Nice.
They won the NCAA championship. And the Portland Trailblazers, I believe, won their first over the 76ers.
Okay. Not bad.
Mm-hmm.
And also, a fun fact.
Mm-hmm.
in 1977,
Mm-hmm.
there was this one park ranger,
Mm-hmm.
and since from 1956 to 1977, he was struck by lightning 7 times.
Mm-hmm.
And the final year that he got his last lightning struck to him was 1977,
Hmm.
and he still survived.
Now, we did, in the world of horse racing, something very interesting happened that year. We did have a Triple Crown winner in 77.
Again?
Seattle Slew won the Triple Crown that year.
Uh,
And in terms of ice hockey, Jesus, everything is just coming up. I'm just looking at the printing of like everything is just coming up. Canadians, 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 Canadians. It's all Montreal.
yes,
I
yes,
mean, the Art Ross Trophy, the leading scorer in the regular season is Guy Lafleur. The Hart Memorial Trophy is the NHL's most valuable player, Guy Lafleur.
yeah.
The Stanley Cup, the Montreal Canadiens defeat the Boston Bruins 4-0. Swept the
Yeah,
Bruins.
the hockey is a Canada game. Wasn't it founded in Canada?
Hmm? What? It was founded in Canada, but I mean, the people of Quebec have taken it to
Another level.
extreme levels.
They dominate. They dominate hockey.
I mean, 24, um,
You
24
know,
Stanley Cups for the Montreal Canadiens. So,
yeah, just like the United States, we dominated at the basketball.
yeah, until I think it was
Yeah, until like a couple of years ago, I think.
no,
Like
no, no, no. It was like in the 80s that
no, but
we
I
lost a
know
lot.
we
We
lost the
lost a lot in
goal,
the 80s, and then we brought the Dream Team in 92.
but then we lost goal a couple of years ago, like about 10 years ago. We lost the goal. We thought we were good enough not to practice.
That's just the American arrogance there. But anyway, um,
Yeah, so yeah,
oh,
it was just. Now, can we get to the entertainment part?
hang
I
on.
did. I did research on that.
Let's see here. I'm just looking at different um, companies established in 1977.
I heard it was Apple.
American Eagle Outfitters. I believe the actual patent for Apple computers started in '79. I believe they actually got the
But they started the.
license. They started the personal computer was invented at that time. Yes.
Yeah. It
So
was
American Eagle Outfitters started in '77. Food for Less.
yeah.
Oh, Freeform. Freeform TV.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
If you're big into like cheap tools and stuff like that, Harbor Freight Tools started in '77.
Man, that's a big name brand right there.
Mm-hmm.
Till this day.
Mm-hmm.
Dang.
United Health Group started
Yeah.
today. Started in '77. That's about it, really.
Yeah, that's
I
all
don't know
about.
anything. Oh, the Vitamin Shop as well.
Yeah,
That's
but
about it.
nobody knows about the vitamin shop.
Yeah, that's really about it. So,
Oh, you were in second grade, Jennifer? Wow. So yeah, I wasn't even alive.
you were what, -3?
Yup.
Jay was -3 at that time.
I was in heaven.
I was -23. No, I was -20.
Hush.
Sorry about that. All right.
Sorry about that,
Anyways,
Jennifer. I didn't
so
want to
what do
make
you want to
you
talk about with
feel.
entertainment? So what do you want to talk about with entertainment? Because we already
Oh, there's
talked about
a
music.
lot of it. Do you want to start with TV shows? Do you want to start with
Let's
movies?
start with TV shows. We'll start with TV shows. We'll go to like maybe perchance like say like more stage theater, and then we'll end the entertainment bracket on movies.
So
'Cause
there was.
that's what everyone's waiting for. That's what everyone's waiting for, okay? So hey, my dad was 5 in 77, so
My mom was about
he
18.
he was close to your age, so
My mom was 18.
fellow Gen Xer parent, so
So yeah, but there was some. There was three major TV shows that came out in '90s in '77. One was Fantasy Island, and I don't know if you
mhm.
guys remember Fantasy Island. It was
Mhm.
a weekly TV show where they got all these celebrities flying onto the Fantasy Island where you can make your dreams come true.
Wow. Yeah.
You're not helping your case.
Mhm.
Yeah, Phil, you're not helping your case at all.
What?
What Jennifer said. You're not you're not you're not helping your case at all. And the other TV
Yeah.
show that came out was Love Boat.
Oh yeah, the Love Boat.
I I used to watch that all the time reruns.
Mhm.
I love that show.
There was another one that came out. If you're,
Yes, there was, and that was a
what was that?
Three's a Company.
Yep. Yep.
It was all
Three's
about.
Company.
It was all about these two women and one man. The man was trying to find a place to live.
Now
He
let me ask you this: what was the most popular show of '77 in
was
terms
in
of
Three's a
viewers?
Company. I know that much.
That was number 3. Number
Three's
2 was
still
still
number
Happy Days.
three.
That was number 3. Three's Company was number 3. Happy Days was still number 2 after all that time.
All right.
Number 1 was actually a spin-off of Happy Days.
Was it
Number 1
June?
most viewed show was Laverne and Shirley.
Ooh, that's a good show. I used to watch that on reruns also.
Mm-hmm.
Do you
Laverne and
never
Shirley.
saw Fan? Oh, I watched Fantasy Island also on reruns. It was a great show.
I mean, you still had like All in the Family still on 77.
Yeah,
Little House on
yeah.
the Prairie. MASH was a big one.
Yeah, Nash was a big one, and Nash lasted until like
Your
almost
birth year.
yeah, almost to the mid-80s.
No, I think the last episode was in I don't know when.
But
But
yeah,
another popular TV show that came out in around that time was the live action The Incredible Hulk show.
oh, that was
That
crap.
was so terrible. It's so campy.
That was crap.
It was so bad.
I'm not gonna knock Luke Ferrigno for it. He 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 he, he had no acting career at all until that show.
Before or since that show. So
But you want to find out a fact about that show?
hmm,
They almost casted Arnold Schwarzenegger to be the Hulk
makes sense. Makes sense
instead of
because I mean he was Mr.
instead of.
Olympia a couple years before that, so
But the reason why he couldn't do the show was because he was filming the movie Conan and the Barbarian at the same time when that show was about to go into
yeesh.
production. So they had to find another actor to play the Hulk. And
That was I believe his first acting gig after Miss Olympia, right?
yeah, and the funny thing is, Luke Ferrigno won Miss Olympia, and Arnold Schwarzenegger came in second place that year in the bodybuilding contest.
So that makes sense for him to be
Yeah,
the
so
Incredible Hulk then, because he
yeah,
was
so
Mr.
yeah,
Olympia. So I mean, it's still remarkable that Arnold Schwarzenegger's what in his 70s now, and he's still ripped as hell.
oh yeah, look at Lou. Lou is shredded too at his
Mm-hmm.
age.
Mm-hmm.
Good God, man, that. But yeah, but going back to Three's a Company, we did lose all three casts. I think yeah, John Ritter had a heart attack, but I think it was like 20 years ago he had a heart attack, and then recently we lost Suzanne Summers, who played Chrissy on the show. But I'm not sure if Janet is still alive.
Oh wow!
If anybody can tell me if Janet is still alive, I would really appreciate that. Because I know two of the main three characters are dead. So
So, excuse me. Moving on from TV shows, we're going to go to stage shows at this point. I don't know.
yeah,
Now,
I
personally,
don't
for
know
me,
nothing about.
as someone who has actually acted on stage, I actually love doing stage productions rather than behind a camera
Uh,
because you get to interact with the audience and you get to make stuff up and just based on things that the audience gives you, you get immediate feedback and stuff like that. So I love that interaction that you have with the audience. But this was a big year for musicals.
was it really?
How about the musical Annie?
That came out in that was
So the
77.
musical, the stage musical, came out in '77. The actual movie with like Carol Burnett and all that came out in
Yeah,
like the
it
early
came out in
'80s.
the 80s.
Yeah, that came out in the early '80s. But the original Annie cast came out in '77.
Okay.
Beatlemania also came out in that year.
Oh yeah,
Elvis the musical.
that was huge. The Beatles.
Beatlemania, yep.
Yes, Jennifer, I love that song. Copyright
Let's take them out tomorrow.
Copyright it.
Huh?
That's copyrighted.
Hey, I can sing it.
No,
I
you
can
can't
sing it.
even
I just
sing it.
can't play it.
No, they won't let you sing it either.
Well, we haven't been banned yet, so
I
won't do
read
anymore.
the new guidelines that the YouTube sent me. Man, they're cracking down. I don't
So
want.
you can't have any originality, basically.
Yeah. You
Well,
can't even hum the song. Nothing like that.
can't even whistle it.
Yep. It's an iconic song.
Yeah, I agree. Some things shouldn't be made into musicals. Um,
Yeah, I know. They should have.
yeah, there are some topics that should not ever be covered in musicals. However, there is one exception that I think was actually a very good interpretation into a musical, only because the guy who wrote the movie also wrote the musical, so he knows what he's doing. Um, and that was the producers.
Okay.
And basically, what the premise of the producers is let's make the worst possible Broadway show ever. So, what's the topic we should cover? Oh, Nazi Germany.
Oh God.
So yeah,
Oh
we'll
God.
produce a show. We'll produce a show about Nazi Germany.
Oh
Make a
God.
quick buck off of it and run off and live in the sunset. And it actually turned into a massive hit. So now they're like,
Was it really?
what? Well, the guys who were producing the show didn't expect it to be a massive hit.
Yeah.
They were trying to make the worst musical possible. Okay?
Yeah, but
Sorry.
that's the funny thing. You don't know what's gonna be a hit. You don't know
Well,
what's gonna be a flop.
yeah, it's nuts. So, yep.
Yeah,
Land
Jennifer.
with Matthew Broderick. Yep. Mm-hmm. We can make $1 million.
I do like Matthew Broderick.
Springtime for Hitler and for all of
Hey, isn't that
Germany.
copyrighted too?
I don't care.
What do you mean you don't care?
The fact that I can't even sing is ridiculous.
Yeah, but that's royalties right there. You gotta pay royalties for that. Or if you just
Considering the guy that made the producers is Mel Brooks, I think he's actually elated by the fact that we're even talking about it. So
we can talk about it, but we can't actually use the melodies or use the words in the song.
can't even mention the name of the song, I'm pretty sure.
No, you can mention the name of the song. That's not a problem.
The fact there's no musical creativity, though, bothers me.
Oh wow! And then,
Anyway,
is there anything else in theaters that year? Stage.
There was a recasting of The King and I,
All right.
or a revived cast of The King and I.
Okay.
I Love My Wife musical came out.
Never heard
And
of
then
that
the
musical.
classic musical Dracula. I don't even know what I don't even know that one actually.
Ooh.
It's a musical Dracula, but I don't know about that one. I'll have to look into that.
Yeah,
Um,
I love anything with Dracula in it.
so here's a good one. Some people who earned Tony Awards that year. Okay.
Okay.
Meryl Streep.
Okay.
Meryl Streep won a Tony Award that year for The Cherry Orchard. Al Pacino
Oh
also
well.
received a Tony Award that year.
Wow, those are some big names.
Mm-hmm.
Those are some big names.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Jennifer, how do you know my real name? But yeah.
All right.
AI. Okay. Now let's go to the big screen.
All right. Now, the big story of the year.
There was like, oh, okay, I told you, okay. I'm
Now,
getting old. I don't remember things I did yesterday. But on the
just
big,
call me Al. As so the guy isn't that the one guy from Angels in the Outfield? Just call me Al.
coming out,
Oh boy.
actually, there was two big movies that came out.
Anyway,
Two big movies that came out that
there
year.
were multiple major movies that came out that year.
Yeah, but not like these two
There were
iconic movies.
major movies that came out in 19.
But there was
What's the first? Well, we know what one is. What's the other one in your opinion?
uh Saturday Night Fever.
We know what one is. What's the other one?
Like I said, Saturday Night
Yeah, that's a big one.
with John Travolta, which
Yeah, Saturday Night Fever came out in '77. You also
which
had you also had two others that were sorry.
that was John
What was that?
Travolta breakout role with that movie.
Roll, yeah.
So that has to be the big one.
So two others actually sold more tickets. Two others actually sold more tickets than um, Saturday Night Fever.
Really?
That was the debut of Smokey and the Bandit.
Yeah, true.
Mm-hmm. And my personal favorite science fiction movie of all time also came out in '77.
Yes.
Close Encounters of the Third Kind came out in 1977.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Star Wars. I think it was for me. It's Star Wars: Return of the Jedi. The second movie from the.
But the original Star Wars, I think as a standalone movie, the storytelling in the Star Wars that came out in 1977 is amazing. The standalone storytelling of the Star Wars, as it was known, it was never known as A New Hope. It was never known as A New Hope until Empire Strikes Back.
Yep.
But as Star Wars was portrayed in the theaters in '77, it's yes, the mashed potato Devil's Tower in Close Encounters. It's one of the most iconic scenes. I love Close Encounters. That's definitely one of my favorite movies of all time.
I never saw that.
The one that always gave me nightmares when I was
But
a kid. You've never seen Close Encounters?
no,
Oh my god!
I never saw that movie. Never did.
It's I think Steven Spielberg's second greatest movie.
What's the?
I think it's called Schindler's List.
All right, yeah. I think that
Schindler's List is his best.
Yeah, that's up there. But yeah,
Schindler's List, and then Close Encounters for me, and then probably Jaws or hell, even Duel.
really.
So the original, yeah. It's Star Wars. When you refer to Star Wars to original fans, it is just Star Wars. It's never known as A New Hope. It's just Star Wars. By the way, there is never. By the way, the famous Imperial March never appeared in the first movie. That was written for The Empire Strikes Back. Dun 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 dun.
Why do I remember it in the first one?
It was never there. You're referring to the main title.
I gotta go back and watch the movie.
It never appeared in the first movie.
I gotta go rewatch.
But it became such a huge. It's such a huge icon of pop culture history. No other movie has been able to top it ever. My dad can specifically remember the date it came out too, May 25th, 1977.
Hey P, how you doing?
Hey P, how's it going, man?
Yeah, you too.
Yes, John Williams is an icon. He's helped. By the way, Jennifer, if you go to our last episode, we actually talked about another one that he actually wrote the theme song for, but was never a part of. It was the only movie probably that I know of that he did not write for George Lucas or Steven Spielberg. He wrote the main theme for Superman in 1978. So. But yeah, Star Wars has become such a pop icon. The only other movie I could see possibly in terms of relevancy in pop culture is The Wizard of Oz. That's it. The only other one that compares to that is The Wizard of Oz. In terms of relevancy, I mean, no other movie has ever captured the American psychosis as Star Wars.
I mean,
it's changed America. That's how big Star Wars is.
I'm going to say this, but people might not agree with me, but I think Star Wars started this whole genre, and I think that's why they have Star Trek.
Started this whole what?
Genre.
No, Star Trek came first. Star Trek did come first.
Did it really?
Mm-mm. Star Trek did come first. Mm-hmm. The original series came out in the 60s.
Really?
The original, not the first movie.
Yeah, not the first movie.
So, not the first movie, but the original Star Trek came out in the 60s.
With Captain Kirk.
Mm-hmm.
But for
Yeah.
some reason,
On TV, it was first. It was on in the 60s. So,
so let me
but
ask
it didn't have the cultural impact that Star Wars did.
let me ask you: are you a Trekkie or are you a
Mm-hmm.
Star Wars? Yeah.
So, I'm going to put it this way. As I've matured more, I like the story writing of Star Trek a lot better
Mm-hmm.
in terms of the fact that it goes into very deep human emotion. Um, it's very well written. However, if you want a good old fashioned Western drama in space, you go to Star Wars.
But
It's just a Western space opera. That's all it is.
you know what the funny thing about this is? The
Mm.
first Star Wars movie was a big hit. I'm surprised
Mhm.
that they never came out with like a Star Wars,
It's a phenomenon.
the TV show.
What's up?
I'm flabbergasted why they
Never. What?
came out with a TV show of Star Wars. I mean, Star Trek actually.
It's TV show.
Hey, Phil, we're losing you, man.
Mhm.
You
I
still
don't know
there?
what's going on here. My Wi-Fi is right here. I'm literally at the router. I still have the router in my room. I don't know what's going on here.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on in there, but yeah.
Anyway,
But yeah, anyway, yeah, 19.
so yeah, there's been no other phenomenon nearly as huge as Star Wars.
Oh yeah, I mean, till this day, there's like.
Oh God. My dad has nightmares from that. My dad has nightmares from the
The
Star Wars
Star
Christmas
Wars.
special. That is the worst thing Lucas ever did.
You know what? You know what? I was watching that the other day on YouTube. It was horrible.
It's so bad. It's so
It
bad.
was,
It's so bad.
I turned it off for like 5 minutes.
And so the only the only reason why um, Empire Empire Strikes Back took so long to make was because the reason why Empire Strikes Back took so long to make was because Mark Hamill had his accident um,
Yeah.
in the midst of production for Empire Strikes Back,
Yep. That is
and
right.
he had to get like surgeries on his face to reconfigure his face and stuff like that. So,
Yep.
which is why he's spending majority of the movie recuperating from an injury. So,
Yep. But my opinion
but
right
yeah,
now.
it is a space opera. It's great. The original. Hmm.
Go ahead. Yeah, we're kind of
Yeah,
losing you, Phil. You're
I
going
don't
in
know
and
what's
out.
going on. Hold on.
Maybe you should.
Stupid frickin' Wi-Fi.
Maybe you should log off and log back in.
Should I come back in?
Yeah, try that.
Let's try that.
We're having some technical difficulty here, folks. He'll be right back in. Let me. let him in when he comes back. But yeah, like I said, Star Wars, they should have capitalized on how big it was and make a TV show out of it. Are
That
you
better?
there? Phil? Yeah, you're there. Yeah, you're fine now.
Yeah, I'm here. But anyway, Star Wars has become such a phenomenon.
But you know what? Right now, I mean, they're just diluting the Star Wars franchise. They're coming out.
They're flooding the market, is what they're doing.
Yeah, it's like, come on.
They're mostly doing they're mostly doing spin-off TV shows.
Yeah, but
They're mostly
still,
doing spin-off TV shows.
that's way too many.
The last movie they ever released, the last. So,
But yeah, it's just man. All right,
nuts.
guys. We oh
Yeah, we have a good one.
yep.
That was a lot of fun. And it is an actual empire at this point.
Okay. So yeah.
It's an actual empire at this point.
Oh yeah. But when the prequels came out in the early 2000s, good God, those movies just sucked.
Because they relied more on special effects rather than actual storytelling.
Yeah, it was. So,
Too over reliant on special effects.
yeah. So Phil, you want to tell them what the next episode is going to be?
Sure. So stay tuned for next week. We'll be talking about 1965, the first full year of the Vietnam War.
And
so we'll be talking about 1965.
And that should be a hot topic. No, I do not know where they.
I don't know where they got the sound for the TIE fighters.
Yeah.
I'm thinking it was a beagle, but but I don't know. Maybe.
Was it George Lucas who dropped the iron on his feet?
I don't know, but somehow the beagles sound like TIE fighters, so.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Okay. Yeah, that does sound like a TIE fighter too.
So they probably
maybe they just took a recorder, rolled the windows down, and went on the highway. On John Cena and Randy Orton, I think it's a good storyline, but honestly, I think Randy's not gonna win the belt. So.
Well.
Yeah. But yeah, guys, I'm sorry that I gotta go real quick. I have an appointment with the neck doctor today, I think. I hope. My neck is killing me right now.
Yeah.
But I will be back tomorrow night for the first round of the NFL 2025 draft is tomorrow night. I'm not
That's
sure. Are you
fun.
gonna join me for that one, Phil?
If I'm probably for the later part of the round, but
Yeah, I think it starts 7 o'clock
um,
your time.
I won't be there right at the beginning. So
But yeah, I'll be there,
yeah,
and
I'll be at work at that time. So
all right, I'll be there. Kenton's gonna be there. We might have a special guest also on for the draft. So
hmm,
don't miss it. It should be a good first round,
yeah.
and we're just gonna have a good old time.
Next week will be
And next week on
and we'll
Wednesday,
be coming back to you next week from we'll be coming back to you next week with another episode of Days Gone By. This
yeah,
next week
that
talking
should
about
be a good year.
1965.
A really good year to talk about.
Yep.
Yeah, comments are not
Yeah.
in the picks.
Take care, guys.
So we will see you later, and I'll see you guys all tomorrow night. And I hope everybody has a great day and have a wonderful, wonderful day. Like I always say, stay safe, stay positive. Everything will be all right. All right, guys. You have a great day. I'll talk to you later. Bye bye.